Alright, hello everybody. If you've been around my channel for as long as it's been up, you might remember that I started as a lowly channel that would talk about artists I liked, and I still want to do that, but I've been having trouble finding ones I really want to talk about. And one of the first ones I talked about was Bernie Wrightson. So we're going to go through this book I found called The FPG Years, and we're gonna look at it. This is not Swamp Thing, I don't think, by the way. It's just looks like Swamp Thing. Uh, some of my shorts have pertained to other artists I liked, so go watch those. But generally speaking, I haven't been doing that, and I am trying to find other ones I'd like to do. But Bernie's a master. He's one of my favorites. And this is actually mostly in color, not black and white, which is what he preferred. And you even get a nice Frankenstein page here at the beginning. Really good. This is not Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which she turned, it was her birthday yesterday, wasn't it? Or something like that. This is the classic Frankenstein, and he doesn't also have the screws in his neck, I noticed. But there he is in all of his glory. So, yep, we got him. And it just kind of carries you through some of his FPG work. It's I didn't know what FPG was actually, but yeah, it's it seems like a bunch of card stuff and whatnot. Cards, I never even, you know, that's a pretty weird thing to get him to do, but yeah, there's some nice interviews in here with him in it, and you see, this is one of the only ones that has a black and white rendition and a colored version. And I actually do like the colors on here. I think Bernie colored it himself in most of these, so he probably knew what he was doing. I'm surprised because in some of these he actually uses markers too. You're gonna see a lot of this stuff right here. A lot of heads. He liked werewolves. This one just kind of looks funny. The looks like a stupid idiot. So yeah. um, Dracula, you know, you got graves over here. He was obsessed with drawing graves and zombies. Everybody knows this, and he drew zombies like no other person. And just a lovely, great black cats as well. I'm actually surprised how good his coloring is. He uses, yeah, here he talks about the markers he uses. He calls them magic markers or something, I think. Which I don't think I've ever heard of before, but they look great, you know. This one only almost looks avant-garde a little bit, with just the face and expression of it. Almost Frankenstein, almost Swamp Thing. You can see that riddled throughout all this stuff. I don't know if this is before or after he did Swamp Thing, but looks like he kind of missed the big guy, or was thinking about the big guy. This one's disgusting. Gross. I was actually kind of surprised when I got this. I was surprised how grody it was. You know, you look at his work in Frankenstein, and then you look at this stuff, and it's really, like, gruesome. I think this is some of the most gruesome artwork I've seen him do. There's one in here that's really grody. Really grody. Icky. You got some zombies. This looks like the Lizard, right? Or whatever that Spider-Man villain is. It's actually called Orthodontics, okay. You can see the titles down here, and there's some quirky commentary. It's good stuff. Rude Awakening. We got some more black. There's some gray in there as well. Gray stuff here. Werewolf. I I like, I don't know if I really care for how he does werewolf sometimes. They just look a bit too human. The face, I don't know why, it just looks very wide, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that. But yeah, his faces sometimes could look a bit strange. How they just, you'll see this a lot, and a lot of them they have like eyes that, I don't know, his eyes were sometimes a bit weird for me. He's amazing though. I don't want to take that away from him. His stuff is just so good. The amazing thing about his work is he's entirely self-taught too. This is entirely self-taught, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable trying to try that kind of stuff. And this almost looks like it's out of Greek mythology here. Um, I would like to see him. I think he would do pretty good drawing Greek stuff. And got Man Bat, I think. And woman, you know, he's channeling his Frazetta here. You know, he's got his weird creature and his woman with a ginormous chest. I wonder if he was ever aware what anime was, because I feel like he would have loved that stuff. Ugly lizard things. It's called Under Distant Moon. This piece is colored with magic markers, a favorite medium of mine. Rather difficult to work with, but fun in its challenges. Yeah, markers are horrible. I hate working with markers most of the time. Unless I'm just doing a flat color, but they're still kind of a pain. Also, dinosaurs. He was a big fan of dinosaurs. I kind of wonder if he had autism or something, because he had, like... He definitely had some hyperfixations on things, you know what I mean? Dinosaurs included, that's a common one. All sorts of stuff in this, outside of just zombies and stuff. I get this weird... centaur woman thing. And this one's disgusting, man. I think it's the colors. The colors in it make it look so much more grody. You can see why a lot of some metal bands wanted to put him on their album cover, because this stuff right here, that's like early death metal Florida stuff right there. Yeah, and he got this one. He did sometimes have a bad case of same face syndrome. You can kind of see she has basically the same face as this guy over here. That's what I meant when I said I was talking about. Sometimes his faces just look samey. Got the same pointed angular jaw and stuff, but you know, good stuff. The zombie's always great. Frankenstein looking thing. I guess Frankenstein technically is the first zombie, right? Technically? I don't know. I'd probably pissed off some horror nerds saying that, I'm not sure. And this is not Swamp Thing here. This looks like something that Alan Moore would probably do with Swamp Thing, but it's not Swamp Thing. This also looks like Swamp Thing, too. It's called Moving Day. I live in the country with the woods right in my backyard. I like to take walks and look at my favorite trees, but sometimes I could almost swear that they're not quite in the same spot as the day before. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah, sometimes trees do look pretty creepy, he's right. Look at that. That's a really good one. Probably one of my favorites in the whole book, I think. And you just got a vampire lady with her boobs out, because why? Why wouldn't you have them out? And here's John Carpenter's The Thing. No, I'm just kidding. He did draw The Thing, though. Ah, very cool. And this one's gruesome, man. Like, branches killing you? Like, ugh. That's pretty unique idea right there. If you replaced it with tentacles, it would be something else, though. Jesus. And you got a bunch of worms. Looks like that thing from Dune. Sandworms killing you. I was always afraid of, like, things that looked like that as a kid. Horrified of cryptids and stuff, you know what I mean? Here we got a Superman and what the fuck? This one's kind of goofy. Some of these have like a almost black humor kind of feel to them because of how over the top they are. Got a, I don't know, she's just kissing. That's their offspring, I guess. Ooh. This looks like that thing in Resident Evil 4, right? That's so cool that he actually did work on Resident Evil, because I feel like there's nothing like a more perfect combination there with Bernie Wrightson and, Resident Evil. Unfortunately, it never came to life, though, because that movie got scrapped with John Romero. Here's a good one here. He really liked... You can kind of see his dinosaur influence and stuff like this. I just think it's kind of funny how much of the human anatomy is also left intact with the... You can see the brachialis, or whatever, radialis, whatever it's called. All that stuff, tricep, bicep, deltoid kind of stuff involved. Seemed like he stuck to a lot of that same anatomy. This one's woof. Yeah, that's Cannibal Corpse right there. That guy's getting sucked alive. Ugh. Look at that. It's just the icky, murky backgrounds in this, man. Just, ugh. Makes you feel like sick looking at it. I don't know. It makes me sick. There's a devil. He looks kind of goofy. He's got drip, though. He do got drip. There's some cross-hatching here. It doesn't seem like he's using it nearly as much as, like he did with Frankenstein. But that's because this isn't in black and white. Doing hatching with color is kind of weird sometimes. This one's gross, man. Just, ugh. Imagine the smell of that. And, like, the taste and stuff going in your mouth. Ugh, God. Apparently, I found out that he's also a Catholic boy. And this looks very similar to David and Goliath. He's even holding a stone. I don't know, what's the commentary say? It's called Avenger. Once I saw a picture in National Geographic of a whale hunt. Dozens of whales floating in what looks like a sea of blood. The image was so horrible it stayed in my mind for years and turns up again and again in my work. Wow. That's traumatizing. I can see it, though, but I don't know. That looks more like David and Goliath. Sometimes you get his pencils here, too. Some of his pencil work, I'm assuming this isn't finished, but it looks very sketchy. Unless he did go straight to inking after this, I'm not really sure. Sometimes you want to, draw as much when you're inking as you do when you're just doing penciling. Is what I've heard sometimes. I don't do that. I play it safe and I just go right in. But yeah, there's not really too much anatomy detail there anyways, so that's fine. Fish sticks is what he's called. Yeah, there's a little tongue-in-cheek humor in the titles and stuff. That just looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon. That's what that movie's called, right? And you got Conan here. Not really. It looks like Conan. A lot of my earlier drawings were of barbarian warriors facing horrible monsters. A distinct influence of all those Frazetta covers I devoured by the dozens. Yep, Frazetta. He's literally admitting it right there. Now we're on part 2. Yep, it's a card set. Oh man. I picked this up because this is sadly, one of the only art books that I think Bernie Wrightson's ever had. You can get the Mary Shelley thing, technically an art book, but it's expensive as fuck. Also, I guess, I don't know. Now we get more macabre stuff. Series 2 cards. This is a Big Dino. I really wish some of these did come in black and white, though. Ugh. This is the cover. This is called Familiar Face. Not the original, but an incredible simulation. I wonder what he's talking about there. We just have a bunch of vampires. I thought that was just a group of people beating each other up. That would make no fucking sense, but it's Feeding Frenzy. Vampires. More vampires. These look like the thing from The Descent. And this guy's getting his chest sucked. A lot of collages of people just getting killed in horrible ways. Dumb ways to die. Kindling is what it's called. I've heard of Rats in the Woodshed, but this is ridiculous. No kidding, Bernie. No kidding. Yeah, this type of background, it almost looks, I think he did paint it. I couldn't tell. Yeah, this is just, it just has this grody, look to it, you know what I mean? Ugh. I don't know if it shows up in the video very well, but you gotta see it. It just looks nasty. It looks like snot. It's the best way I put it. Yeah, this one's pretty cool here. The coloring, what did he color this painting? He painted it. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. It looked like a painting. Really good. Really good. Yeah, I don't like the, animal faces on those. They just kind of look goofy, in my kind of derpy looking. Got another person being scared of the sea. Monsters and another zombie or something holding their head. Very nice. We get it. This feels almost Michelangelo-esque here. The way the body's contorted and balanced and stuff. Feels like a statue. Really good. Um, yeah. Ugh. See that? Am I wrong? Does that werewolf not look like... He just looks a little too handsome. It's ugly. There's some more trees, scary trees. Trees are scary. Everybody knows this. Scout. That's a barbarian woman, more Frazetta stuff. I think I saw in one of those documentaries he did have a wall of dinos. So, you got some snakes, more Conan. He's not Conan, but he's Conan. He's not Conan. That's Frank Frazetta getting attacked by a werewolf. Very nice. That's a cool background, too. I wonder how I did those backgrounds. Don't know. Probably with markers or something, but they look really cool. It almost looks like a sky or something. Like a explosion. Yeah. I don't know why you dig up a grave, but that guy is getting his. More paintings. This one's called Woody. Right, Woody. We're not buying it, Wrightson. We're not buying it. We know who exactly that is. Nice. Frankenstein stuff. Now, this surprised me that he was able to put this in here. Isn't it public domain now, I think? I think it's public domain, but yeah, that's some classic ones there. That's got the long hair. I always prefer my Frankenstein long haired, and that's partially due to him and that kind of look. Now it's his version of Frankenstein is just the iconic version. Another one getting swallowed by that. Oh god. That's one of my biggest fears is going into the ocean and seeing stuff like that and getting swallowed. Subnautica ass shit right there. Person in a tree. Really scary people in trees. I think he doesn't like trees. He doesn't like the underwater. And he doesn't like that kind of stuff, swamps. This is almost Cthulhu-esque. The one that got away, an irate god shall visit damnation upon the untruthful angler, holy mackerel. I wish he would do like Cthulhu. I wonder if he ever has touched any Lovecraftian properties, because I feel like he would do a good job with the artwork on that. Like, he's gone now, but could you imagine him doing a Lovecraft type of approach that he did with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? And we got Antisocial. It's okay, nobody likes her much either. This is me. This is literally me. That's what I look like, in case you were wondering. Goop monster. The Goop. Dinosaur girl. Dinosaur. That looks like the Indominus Rex. I wonder, that is a Spinosaurus, right? I don't know about dinosaurs, so sorry. Beauty and the Beast. More zombies. Now that right there is straight up The Thing. Come on. That's John Carpenter. There's some swamp creatures. Zombie. They kind of have similar faces, am I wrong? Zombies and zombies. Sunburn, yeah. These are pretty cool. Now this is where shit gets weird. Okay, this is literally a xenomorph. This guy was watching Aliens when he was making this shit. Look at that. That's a space marine, that's an alien. Come on. Same thing here. You're gonna see another one like that soon. There's another, same one that he drew a while back. I don't remember. This is cool. This is, Batman getting a little freaky there. Man-Bat. Has he ever drawn Man-Bat? He probably has. Death and dying and stake through the heart there. Wolfman. That one's cool. They kind of have the same theme, you know, somebody just getting it in the most horrific way possible. I don't know what to say. You know, images speak for themselves here. This one's cool. This one's another great one right here. It kind of reminds me of that Disney, what's the fuck is that thing called? Horrific thing they made in that one Disney short. I don't know. That's probably the only time I'll say that it reminds me of Disney when I'm referring to Bernie Wrightson, because this shit is not... That's Aliens, bro. Look at that. He's got the same kind of gear. Ugh. Beast Boy. Back Boy. Yep. See that? That's an... Come on. I think we know what that is. Yeah, you get a nice mix of Frazetta stuff in this with some classic horror and stuff and people dying and all that stuff. Yep, no, look, this one's even worse. Look at that. Come on, Frazetta. We know what you're doing here. Dude really liked Aliens. This one's funny. Got this woman in a bandana, tightest yoga pants on the planet versus a werewolf, and she's doing some kung fu on him. Okay. Oh, yeah. And that's it. That's all I got for his book. This is a really good book if you like Bernie Wrightson. I would definitely recommend getting it. Also, if you want to, I'm going to be making more of these videos. I think I have one more art book to look over there, but I'm getting another one soon by H.R. Geiger, or Giger is how it's pronounced, and I will be talking about that one. I still have my Blade of the Immortal video on the way, and I'm also watching through Gundam Victory, which has been an experience, so yeah, just look out for that stuff, and thank you for watching.